Beautiful September morning. The tractors are busy ploughing the fields, I think, or something. And my heather is actually doing pretty well, although it's quite dark on this side of the house. This morning light is just so special. Look at this rose here. So healing. So let's find a spot. The cows have had their morning feed. They're having this short grass now, because that's all I really have. It's not holistic management, but all is well. All is well. I can go and sit here, maybe. Yeah. She's becoming so tame, Emily Rose. Okay, so yeah, there's different things I want to share with you. So let's just see how we go. Life is good, and life is also challenging, as I always say. But I think I really do feel there's some very powerful, good things happening, and you can sort of sense how sense how love is really beaming forth. Love has conquered the earth. And what we're sensing is just our old, as I see it, it's really our, we're holding on to something that's not real. And what's happening on a spiritual level is that we're awakening to what is really true. And what is really true is that all is love. Love is all there is. And and yeah, what I really want to do with my videos is to really help you to come into the power of yourself, and that's what I just get right now. Because it can seem so daunting, all the problems there are in this world. I was just reading about something about the farmers in the UK, and how there's nobody wants to be a farmer, and they're all this about the land, how it's being ruined, and it's so depressing. And very quickly we can get into this worrying mode, or this really where you give up because everything is so bad. But really, on a spiritual level, we're being told everything's actually healed and everything is fine. And there's a new world that has arisen out of the old world, and it's completely newborn. It's fresh. And we are creating it. And so, coming out of the big picture and into the little picture, which is right where you are, and understanding that you are the power. You are the one who is creating this new world. And it sounds stupid, it sounds wrong in our old way of thinking. What can I do? I'm just a little human being. I'm just this little, I mean, whether I'm here or not doesn't matter, but it does matter. And yeah, so it is really changing our complete perspective on what is who we are and what life is all about, really. So right where you are in your life, you can change the world, and you are creating our new world every time you feel peaceful, trusting, relaxed. I mean, just sensing whether or not you're relaxed. That's enough, really. Do I feel relaxed? Right where I am with that problem there, that problem, that so-called problem. Do I feel relaxed right here? And that is the sign that you are creating a new world with your presence. And that's really what I just feel very much when I sit down today. Yeah, it's wonderful how I feel the whole thing of channeling. I just feel these messages are coming to me. It's because the whole thing of feeling love, feeling peace, really what I just sense I'm being told right now is that it's just your presence, your relaxed presence. That's your power. And the whole thing of joy I've just been talking about, feeling the joy. You don't even have to feel the joy. just relax. Feel your own presence. I'll just get the camera a little bit closer. I just don't want to frighten the cow. We also want to see Mary in the background. See if we can see her too. Yeah. There is that big baby in her belly. Big baby in her belly. Okay, so your presence is enough. Your relaxed presence, and I don't know if you know Eckhart Tolle, but many people do. He's very well-known spiritual teacher, and all teachers have something different, but it's all about being in the present moment, and that's sensing how that's actually your power. Just be relaxed in this present moment. That's enough. So powerful. And that is really our new way of being. We've learnt to fill up. I mean, you have to be more. You're not enough. You have to be. You have to be so much, do so much. Otherwise, you're useless. We can't use you. And what this new way of being is all about is really to strip off all that, being all that, and simply being present, right where you are. it can sound really abstract because and because you're just stripping away all this that you feel that is so important about your personality and how you want to contribute. And really, what I'm being told so strongly right now is it's just really your presence that is the contribution. And we're through these channelings that you read, that's what we're being told. It's actually just you being here and being relaxed in your own presence. That's really the most powerful gift you bring. And to explain this, or to help ourselves understand how powerful it is, just think of the world and how many people are stressed and not present. I mean, it's millions and millions of people. And if one out of that million, no matter whether it's a person in an office, on a mountain, looking after kids, being a company director, whatever it is, which person it is, whatever the person is doing, whatever situation that person is, when that person chooses to be a relaxed presence in this world, they are contributing to the new world, the new way of being. And all it is a shift in our mind. And sometimes we have to leave a job because the situation is so stressful, or we have to leave a relationship because we can't be that relaxed being. But really, where we are right now, I feel you can do it right where you are, and especially if you sense that you have to change your life a lot and leave something, leave someone, or to actually make the shift before you leave the person or the job. Make the shift first. Say you've already got it. It's already done. The state of being is already there. So wonderful. So just a few practical things that have just come to me, and things I've experienced. One thing is he's a chiropractic doctor, and he's called Darren Smith. Dr. Darren, Darren, and Schmidt. I think it's Schmidt. I'm not quite sure about that. And he's a chiropractic doctor, and he has a YouTube channel you can go and find. And especially his last live streaming was really wonderful. He's all into the ketogenic way of eating, also carnivore, where you remove all plant foods, which he's practicing right now. And he's not into spiritual things, emotional things, the emotional healing, the spiritual healing. He's not into that at all. It's all physical, and he uses muscle testing. I just think if you like to see someone who's actually, I think, very wonderful to listen to, especially now, interestingly enough, because he's been quite unwell himself from a mold toxicity, and other things. He grew up on a conventional farm, and he speaks about that. There's many interviews with him. There's an interview on biohackers. There's an interview with him, Dr. Darren Schmidt, which I really think is wonderful. And he just has this sweetness. He's just got this sweetness about him, and he's not into. He's not really against anyone or anything. He's not contributing to the wars, the diet wars that are going on. And he talks very much also about candida and parasites, and how our diet is not enough. So if you want to go and have a look at him, maybe connect with him, maybe go to he's got a nutritional healing center in Ann Arbor, and so he treats people. So that's something that I think is valuable to see. And yeah, I was just seeing something else on the internet yesterday. It's so wonderful how we can go and just see all these things. And it was homesteaders. There's Justin Rhodes, who goes to Greg Judy, which is wonderful. I mean, Greg Judy is just becoming so popular, and he's got so many videos coming out there. And yeah, it was good to see these young couples who are starting homesteading as we did, me and my husband, 30 years ago, and going back to the land and trying to live a more natural life, and how they're supporting each other. Because apparently one of the families, that's mold again. That's funny. Mold toxicity. Their house, they realized they were becoming sick, and so they realized that their house was full of mold. And so these families started a GoFundMe. They helped this family to ask people to support them, whoever wanted to support them, and they have many subscribers. I mean, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And suddenly, within a few days, these people had many thousands of dollars, because people watching the videos, they wanted to support this family who suddenly didn't have a house. And that is just so heartwarming to see that the love is beaming forth. People are showing their love in all sorts of different ways and supporting each other. What a beautiful experience. So yeah, and it's wonderful that some young people, they want to try to move back to the land and grow their own food, do these things. It's wonderful to see. They want to give their children a good upbringing without all that toxicity and vaccinations, and give them good food, and like we did. I've just moved on to all the emotional. I'm in a different place in my life, so what I experienced, as I've said before, that for many of us it's not enough. When you're doing the homesteading, it's very much the outer world, and you're trying to make it good for the surroundings, the environment for your family, and that's really wonderful. And for many of us, we're realizing that there's an environment inside me. There's a world, there's a farm, there's an area inside me. There's a world inside me that has been neglected. So there's lots of, it's like a farm that's been neglected. Nobody's been there, or it's been driven conventionally. That's the inner farm, the inner world. And that's where I feel we are now. We have to go and become our own inner farmer, and go and heal the land within us, because many of us are very, very damaged and have taken on a lot of pain from our parents, from the human condition. And as long as this pain is sitting here, it's gonna go with us wherever we go, whatever we do. This pain we have to address, and we have to heal it, and there's just no way around it. We have to, and the main thing is to simply bring our awareness to the pain. So so a lot of the pain that we can be experiencing in our life with things that seem to be in the present tense, like loss, losing someone we love, or a divorce, or sickness, whatever it is coming right now in our life that we feel is very challenging, can very easily be simply because this problem has to come, because it's an old emotion that needs to be released. So you suddenly getting a sickness or something that makes you very sad, that sadness can be thousands of years old. It's an old sadness that is linked to that disease, and when we release that emotion, the disease is healed. So the things that are happening in our lives are bringing up all this, these old stuck emotions. So, but as I see it, very powerful things are happening, and it can feel. I mean, we're going into unknown territory. Those of us who are on this journey and feel we are in this place in our lives, we're moving into unknown territory, because this has never happened on earth. It's very special. It's very and very difficult also. So so that's what I really wish to do with these videos, is to help you to keep centering yourself. Although everything seems strange, you can't understand it, you don't know what's going on, just keep coming back. Keep coming back to your being that is the powerhouse of the world, of your world that is the powerhouse. Come back to yourself. Be good to yourself. Be loving and caring to yourself. Manage your life in a peaceful, caring, and feel the gratitude. Really creating a life for yourself that is really deeply, deeply loving. Keep coming back to that, and you will be guided forward. But we just have to keep coming back to our center. So important. And the last thing I want to share. The last thing I want to share, is to just the whole thing of just keep loving, keep loving, and so people around you might be drifting into the darkness and you just can't reach them, but just keep loving them where you are in your heart. Just keep loving them, and if you feel something negative you have, just release it. Make sure you keep releasing what you feel towards them, so that you have no grudges towards them, because often we're holding each other down by our negative thoughts towards each other. Oh, this person is hopeless, this person always does this and this and this. To cleanse this out of your mind, out of your heart all the time. So important. So you're always seeing that person in love, because they're doing their best right where they are, and when they start moving back to you, they might come one day, you're there with love, pure love, and no grudges, no why did you say this, why did you all this. Just leave that, because as Jesus said, they know not what they do. When you're grabbed by the ego, you don't know what you're doing. You're asleep to yourself, to everything. You're not aware. When you come into your heart, you're aware. You know you are love. That's all you are. And when there is a moment, I sense that to say, how about we have a little talk type of thing. I do that a lot to some people, with some people. And sometimes they're ready and they just go back to basics and explain. That's what I do. Just explain from just really what I'm doing with these videos. Just come into yourself and sense, isn't it beautiful? Doesn't it feel wonderful? When you just come into your heart, sense how beautiful, peaceful it feels, and they go, oh, that's right. Yeah, it does. I was all caught up in my something. So we can help guide people back to their hearts, and just in little portions, and then let them go again, because I have a tendency to give them the whole story, and it's too much. Like they say in Christianity, in the beginning you're a child of the faith, and then you become an adult of the faith. And in the beginning, as when you're a child, you can only take little bits. And the first little bit is to simply come back to yourself and just sense, oh, doesn't that feel wonderful? Oh, that's right. The most wonderful, peaceful place in this universe is in me. It's not in the shops, in the church, over at my mum's place, over at my blah blah blah, whatever, being with my partner. It's in me. The most beautiful place on this planet is in me. So, yeah. So this is a real mixture. And if I look funny, I have honey. Back to some practical things. I have put honey on my nose because I sensed I was getting some sores, and it can be sort of pre-cancer. And I put honey. So if you have any of those, I put honey on them, and it's very effective. It heals them very, very quickly. So I've got honey on my face. So I send you all my love, and yeah, send you all my love. And I don't know if this is going to be a Sunday Shining video. If it is, I'm going to put a Gabriel message on, because to keep the system going. So, but thank you for being you, and thank you for being a part of this group that we are. And yeah, it's just wonderful if you feel the love. So just going back to your presence when you watch these videos, just sitting there with your relaxed presence, I'm very sure goes into these videos. And when people are watching them, they're not only sensing me and my presence, they're sensing all our presence. Because we're one, because we're a little family and a big family, we are contributing with our presence just by being here. Although we're not watching the video at the same time or doing something at the same time, because there is no time really. So you're just contributing with your presence, your beautiful, beautiful divine presence. You are contributing so that others can feel it, so it becomes more and more powerful. So it's so wonderful. So I'll leave you now, and we're always together. So take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.